Cynthia! We're coming. We're coming for Cynthia. What's up, folks? Howdy, welcome in. I hope we are all doing well. Hope we are all... I thought this was attempt 6. Is this attempt 4? Okay, damn. Maybe we're doing better than we thought. How we doing, chat? Welcome in. I have no comment on your first words. Don't make it gross. We're coming to get Cynthia. She's got it coming. She's got it going on. What's up, guys? Hey, Reese. Hey, Frog. Hey, Gwyn. We are going to... I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to speed through the early bits here. Because, you know, we've been through this enough times. We don't need to, you know, slowly walk through the grass. We know what we're doing. We do need a naming theme for this run, so I will let y'all have a little think about that. Last run, it was Digimon. Have a little think about what this run should be. Damn. We lost to Barry. Okay. Moment of truth, because I have a very specific goal in mind for this run today, chat. For this run that we're starting now, and that is that we very specifically want a either up speed or up attack nature Chimchar with Iron Fist. So we're gonna reset a little bit until we can get to that. Okay. And the way that... Oh, fuck. The way that runs work, we technically don't start a run until we get Pokeballs, so I'm not counting these as separate attempts. We're just resetting for our start them on here. Waiting for the collector's edition of Time Strangers to come on sale. What is Time Strangers? Right, save to slot 1. And because, of course, because the time in which you pick up your Pokemon really makes a difference as to whether or not, like, what abilities and stuff they have. We can save right here and then reset for the Chimchar that we want. Okay, up speed, Blaze. Not quite what we wanted. It all depends on the frame and stuff that you actually click accept. Next Digimon game selling beginning next month. Well, I hope it's on sale by the time sorry. I hope it's far enough down the line to where it won't affect my time playing Silksong, which releases on Thursday, by the way. Blaze, Modest. Yeah, definitely no. Theme is Dragon Ball Z. I have never watched an episode of Dragon Ball Z before in my life. So I'm gonna go with a soft no on that one. Based on the fact that I would not have a single clue. October 2nd? I don't know. Will it only take me a month to beat Silksong? Up defense, Iron Fist. Closer. Chimchar is Goku? Okay, alright. How about we do anime in general? How's that? How about we do anime in general? What do you think, Chen? Up defense, Iron Fist. Okay. We'll get it eventually. We must be down speed here. Yeah, that's got to be down speed. Yeah. Brave Blaze. This will be the first collector's edition that I've bought in my life. Oh, that's so exciting. What do you get with the collector's edition? Oh, that's got to be a down attack. That's got to be down attack. Yikes. Oh, hold on. Naive. Iron Fist. Okay. We must just have, like, a terrible attack IV. Hold on. Hold. Chat, are you holding? Hold. Zero attack IV. Okay. Here we go again. It's not terrible. Getting Naive and Iron Fist would be fine. But we can't deal with the zero attack IV. Zero attack, 9 special attack. It's just not ideal. We're down speed here, I think. Either that or terrible speed IV. Yep, down speed. Iron Fist. I just want to make sure, chat. I know this might seem very silly. I just want to make sure that we set ourselves up to be in the best position possible. Because, I'm not gonna lie to you, by the end of the last run, I was there like, man, I cannot wait to get into whatever the next game's gonna be. I was gonna focus on Clair Obscure. And then the moment we lost, I was like, I can't leave it here. I can't leave it like this. So, to give ourselves the best chance possible, I want to make sure that we get what is probably the best starter possible. Neutral Nature Blaze. 100-page art book, 4 Digimon card exclusives, a 15-centimeter statue of a major Digimon from the game, a planned DLC, all the base game. That's pretty good. How much extra are you paying for all that? Like, what's the amount that you actually end up paying for that? Okay, speed tied with Piplup. Need to decide if I liked Outer Wilds enough to go ahead and spend $100 on the premium edition of the second Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds. I was gonna say, were you really about to tell me that Outer Worlds, the Outer Wilds got a second game that I was not aware of? I was about to be livid. Normal price, I'll do US dollars at 70 base, but for... It's 216 bucks for all that. Well, okay. Base game is 70. Up special attack Blaze. We'll get there eventually, chat. Never finished Outer Wilds? Oh my god, Gwen, it's such a great game! What do you mean? I've got to change the music. You have to go and finish Outer Wilds. It's so good. I got bored and distracted by other games. I think I must have finished Outer Wilds in, like, a week. Alright, we're down speed, but we probably got decent attack. I must have finished Outer Wilds in, like, a week. I don't know that... Since I was a kid, I don't know that I've spent so much time and so many nights staying up. I don't know that I've stayed up so many nights. Like late, just to play a game since I was like a kid playing, well, actually probably these games. I think the problem is I got confused as to where I was supposed to go, and that's fair. There are a lot of places in Outer Wilds where it's like, okay, you know, what are we doing here? But I think one thing that really helped me in terms of getting with that is when I faced a problem that I really, truly could not solve by myself, I let myself go and look up the answer just for that one problem. It takes a lot of discipline, because especially when you go onto some of these sites, and it's there like, well, here's the link to the next thing, and go look at this part, and look at the whole walkthrough. But if you trust yourself, which you should trust yourself, to just go and look at the required thing, just solve that, I guarantee you'll get to the next puzzle and you'll be like, oh, okay, now I can do this. Down special attack Iron Fist. Oh, I'm not sure that I'm not sure that worked. I'm also not sure if it's when you open the briefcase or when you actually pick them on. Who knows? Neutral blaze. Oh. Wow. It's basically 6 a.m. for you. I'm a night owl. Damn. So, wait. Are you saying that you still have yet to go to sleep? Or that you're... Like, are you still yet to go to bed? Or have you just woken up really early? Down attack, Iron Fist. Okay, so I think what I'm supposed to do is actually, if I save this... Premium edition of... Oh, hold on. Premium edition of Outer Worlds, though, has base game, 2-player DLC, art book, and soundtrack in the cosmetics. Okay. Listen, I'm not going to judge people for getting the premium edition of games. I generally have problems with pre-orders. I think pre-orders are silly 9 times out of 10, and you're going to end up... you're going to end up paying a lot of money for normally something that isn't maybe worth that up attack. Iron Fist, let's go, baby! Alright. Let's check its IVs. Could still be bad. 13s across the board. This'll do. Alright, I hope that we've come up with a theme, right? We're doing, we're doing anime characters, is that right? But yeah, like, I'm as much of a hypocrite as the next guy. I pre-ordered Legend ZA, and I got the edition that comes with the hat. Because I think the hat's kind of neat. And, it's got pins and shit. So, you know, I'm not gonna... I'm not going to criticize anyone for buying a pre-order, especially if it's a game or a series or a developer that you love or trust, right? Like, I wouldn't say that anyone should, I used to be here like, you should never pre-order anything, and, you know, to an extent, I still believe that, even though I am a hypocrite in that way. You know, because I pre-order the new Pokemon games whenever they come out, because I have a big display shelf with a bunch of, like, Pokemon merch and loot and shit. And yeah, you know, I shouldn't do that because I don't believe in doing that. But equally, oh, we need a nickname for Turtwig. What's a anime character that's a turtle? But I pre-order them because I love Pokemon. And I love getting the merch, and I love being able to fill up my shelf more, and also I know I'm gonna play it anyway, right? I know I'm gonna play Legend ZA, even if it's gonna be really bad, because, well, I love it. Kama? Sure. Kama Chameleon. What am I gonna do when people aren't around to help me with this shit? Alright, let's look at Kama. Down special defense. Shell armor. Hey, that's pretty good. Whoa, look at those IVs. Okay. Down special defense is a bit of a bummer, but what can you do? Let's look at Turtwig. Turtwig. By Turtwig, I mean let's look at Torterra. I mean, this is a bulky Pokemon anyway. His special defense isn't his main thing, it's his defense, and his IVs are off the charts. Google? Well, that just feels less fun. It's kind of where I'm at too, with Outer Worlds. I know I'll most likely pre-order The Witcher 4. See, for me, and again, this is really hypocritical of me because I'm buying Pokemon on pre-order. But I would argue that you should definitely hold off on pre-ordering Witcher because of how CD Projekt Red handled what's it called? Cyberpunk. Right? Like, it felt very upsetting that Cyberpunk was a broken mess. And I know that Witcher 3 released and it was in a really good state, but, you know, that was before Cyberpunk. But again, you know, like, I'm also the one out here pre-ordering Pokemon when Scarlet and Violet is, by all accounts, a buggy, stupid mess. Okay, a anime character that is very adaptable and has lots of different forms that it can come in and out of. Or just a dog. What's like an anime dog? Rimu? What the fuck is Okay, Gwyn, I'm happy to take your suggestions, but you gotta tell me where these characters are from. That's the new rule. You gotta also inform me of where the fuck you're getting your sources. Right, give me, like, Drizzlewingle. That is neither a Drizzle nor a Wingle. Let's hit this thing, like, twice. Okay, a bird from anime. I have watched so many anime. Why can't I think of a single bird? Anime bird names. What's the crow? What's the crow from Demon Slayer? Kusagi crow. Okay, but what's the name? What's let's fuck that. What's the name of the crow from K-pop Demon Hunters? No, I don't want the fucking AI's result. Just tell me what the crow is called! If I remember, Kame is Japanese for turtle, which is Anbu from Naruto. Rimu, if I spelled it correctly, is the main character from when I got reincarnated as a slime. Gotcha, thank you. Yeah, we'll just call it Kusagi, why not? Kusagi Crow. Bop, 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 bop. No clue, didn't watch Demon Slayer. It's really good. Would recommend. I would recommend Demon Slayer. Let's just slap a little heal. Okay, and Pidgey. So we got just 2 birds. Hey Blazy, what Pokemon did you get on your first 2 encounters? Oh, you know, just 2 of the exact same fucking bird. Ah, pigeon in anime. What are the pigeon? Pigeon character. Yeah, is this right? Hattori from One Piece? Is that right? Hattori. Hattori. Apparently, Tengen Uzi is a crow? What? Not my thing? You know what? That's perfectly valid, man. Reese, thank you so much for Twitch Prime at 26 months. I appreciate you, man. Wow, feels like I subscribed 25 months ago. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Okay. I refuse to use the EV early because we want to keep it as low level as possible. But what are you? Up defense, down special defense, runaway, so just base things. Oh god. Oh my god! Move Pokemon. Right, put a second Pokemon in the box so we can have a look at their IVs. That certainly is one of the EVs of all time. Wow, and that sure is one of the... Brave, okay. Yikes. And you are neutral nature, keen eye, with... Okay, why could my birds have not traded stats? That would have been very, very lovely. Okay. We're gonna go to level 8 here to deal with the rival. I say the rival, it's Dawn. Well, it's Lucas. I thought a Crowboy for... Oh, that would have been really good! Oh, man. Yeah, my hero's gonna be a really good one for all this. What's his name? Tatsugiri? Nope, that's the fucking... That's the Sushi Dragon Pokemon, Robbie. Alright, show me something that is not a bird. Please. Oh, I should probably turn off my fucking repel. Show me not a bird. Okay. I guess this is, in fact, not a bird. I just wish it was something else. Okay, a rat from an anime. Oh, what is his name? It's gonna really annoy me. Crowman from My Hero. Tokoyami, that's it. I don't remember names. My way of remembering is what they are. Yeah. What they are plus bitch, boy, lady. Right. So in this formula, I've already forgotten his fucking name. Tokoyami is crow plus boy. Right, I get you. A rat character from an anime. Rat. Oh my god, why is this? This is already way too difficult. Why did I agree to this? Rat character in anime. Oh, Hamtaro! We can call him Hamtaro! Yeah. Hamtaru. Right? Hamtaru. Master Splinter? Well, at that point, we then need to talk about, like, what constitutes an anime. Okay. Guts. Fine. Okay. Not the literal worst rat we could have gotten, I suppose. TMNT has had anime. I am not contesting that fact. Okay. Here we go. A battle, please! Yes. Battle. TMNT has had an anime. So, okay, by that extension, are we allowed to bring in, like, general cartoons into... Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of the, let's get rid of the distinction, and we'll just say cartoons in general. How's that? That work for people? Great. It's my show, so I don't really care if it doesn't work for you. I will say, though, chat... As a general... Okay, now here's the shanks. Fucking... okay. This guy starts with Growlithe. Intimidate Growlithe. So I guess we start with Pigeon. It growling there is a little spooky, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll learn Wing Attack instead of Sand Attack, sure. So yeah, chat, my question was kind of going to be, what do you guys think of having a kind of general, stream on a Monday, maybe? I'm not guaranteeing this will happen or become regular, but just kind of curious as to what your guys' thoughts would be if we did do a more regular Monday stream. If that was the case, would you guys prefer it to kind of be in this time slot in, like, the early, like, similar to Breakfast Bard, where it's, like, morning/afternoon? Or would you rather have, like, an evening thing? Is the question. But we'll widen this out to anime in general. I think that makes it a little bit more fun, personally. Ah! Buttons are interesting. Pikachu is electric. No. Fuck. You would think after 4 attempts of doing this, I would know the answers to these questions. Dead. Sure, we'll learn Double Team. Why not? Okay. Give me, like, Drizzle... Give me, like, a Drizzle Squirtle. That's a Bulbasaur. That is, in fact... Oh, and I didn't name it! Fuck. Alright, Bulbasaur, what are you? Neutral. Chlorophyll. Okay. I'll, actually have not got... We've not had a... Brain? Brain, what are you doing, Brain? Come on, Brain. Brain! We have not had a Bulbasaur yet this entire time. We've also, I don't think in any run, I don't think we have ever had a Torchic. I don't think we have gotten a single Torchic on any of our runs, which is kind of interesting and also mildly mind-blowing. Okay, so we have to save here, because there is a world in which this egg is Togepi, and if it's Togepi, then we are resetting, because we get a Togepi egg later. You know what? Actually, we get Light Ball in Floroma Town. Pichu as an early encounter, I don't fully hate. I don't hate. This is okay, but we need another mouse. We need another, like, mouse character. Oh my god, there is a mouse character called Hamlet. And that's very fucking cute. But you know what? We're gonna call this guy Mickey. Because A, he's a Mickey encounter, and B, haha. You guys know. You guys get it. Jerry would also have been a very valid suggestion. That's also a good one. Up to you, Mr. Bardman, because most of the UKers will be in work / some type of activity unless they're off. Well, what I was kind of thinking is all of my streams are either US like lunchtime, like people kind of get their lunch for the most part in the US when I'm streaming, or UK evening. But I think what's kind of drawing me towards doing a afternoon stream in the UK is it kind of lets me hit that lunchtime in the UK, so people have something to do on like their lunch break. That's not what I meant to register. Where's my old dusty rod? Okay, you know what? You know what, chat? We missed Magikarp on pretty much every single route last time. And now we have a guaranteed Dratini in Eterna-City already. So this is absolutely fine. What's the name of the dragon from Dragon Ball Z? Dragon from Dragon Ball Z. What's his name? It's like, what is like the big, Shenron. That's it. Thank you. This can be Shenron. But getting Magikarp here gives us so many better opportunities at good encounters. Rather than in the last attempt where we missed literally every single Magikarp until... Where did we end up getting Magikarp? We ended up getting Magikarp in, like... I want to say, like, in Pastoria, right? Like, in... Like, by the 5th gym. Please don't be terrible. Okay. Swift Swim. 3 attack IVs. Okay. Well, you know what? Still a solid D-Dancer. Still can help us do a lot of stuff. Not gonna lie. Purunga looks like Goldramon now that I think about it. I'm gonna need reference of both of those. Purunga. Purunga. Why is it when I've just searched for Purunga, have I got safe search, immediately? Like, nothing would come up. It was like, safe search? Is it because alright, okay, he's just like a dude. What is Goldramon? I mean, yeah, in that they kind of both have genie-ish proportions. No, I know, Frog. The internet's just weird like that. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, we can go pick up our last couple encounters here. I'm kind of gonna be down for like a Clampo? Or no, not Clampo, what's it called? Okay, Krabby was not what I had in mind, but you know what? This works fine. I won't forget about our, our Lord and Savior, King, oh my god. I'm just gonna be quiet, I think, is what I'm gonna do. Crabs. Mr. Krabs. You know what, we'll find out what his nature and stuff is when we get our last little encounter for this, stage. Actually, that's a lie. We've got 2 more encounters to do above Jubilife. Okay. Another damp Poliwag. What's like I need like a squat fightery dude. What? It's like Sugar Rush, isn't it? Sugar Man from, My Hero. Yeah, his name is Sugar Rush. Look at that, fits perfectly. I want repel on, please. Okay, so what this is going to give us is it gives us a few decent encounter opportunities in this route above Jubilife. Now that we're up here, we get access to... I'm actually going to pull up the doc for this because this is kind of important. 204. So, we have access. We have Starly. So we could find Badoo, Bellsprout, Ralts, Caterpie, Weedle, Wurmple, and Ledibur. Now, everything here, other than, I guess, Bellsprout and Ledibur, are gonna actually be kind of good for us. We could also surf to try for a Corphish, but we can actually get a guaranteed Corphish on the other route, which I might even do. Because having a guaranteed Dark type, and also if we can get, like, Adaptability Corphish, would go very hard. Okay! Alright, oh shit, we gotta catch this before it runs away, huh? Because this thing's just gonna teleport. Nice! Okay, and it's male, so we have options here. This is an insanely good encounter. Don't know whether I'm gonna turn this into a Gardevoir or a Gallade. So chat, give me your name suggestions for like a wizardy kind of character. Maybe like a battle mage. If anyone knows any animes with like a battle mage. Opinions on the UK 18 banning UK 18 law banning some games on Steam. Ones that might get affected are BG3 unless you have a credit card. One. I mean, look, as silly as it might be, we do have age rating laws in the UK, and it has always seemed very silly to me that you can, like, I could go and make an account on Steam as a, like, 5-year-old and go and buy GTA 5, you know? So, I don't know. It, like, by banned, do you mean, like, you wouldn't be able to play it until your account was verified to a certain age? Or do you mean, like... because it has Shrek Scene. Because Shrek Scenes, unless you have a credit card, you cannot prove your age. Well, I mean, again, it wouldn't stop children from just going, Mom, Dad, can I use your ID to make my account, right? I don't know. I think I would need to read the actual legislation, but I feel kind of the same as I do about the age protection stuff for just general online. A lot of people were there like, oh, I can't believe that you have to, like, show your ID to these websites and you don't know what they're going to do with your ID. There is always the option on every single website to just use, like, a face scan. If you have any sort of internet presence, like... 90% of people already have, like, a picture of their face online someplace, right? So, people who are there like, I can't believe that, you know, we have to show our face to these companies. It's like, okay, well, they still have to comply with, GDPR laws. So, it's not like they can just go, hee, I have your ID/face now. Okay, hold on. And that stuff, like, has to be wiped from servers. Like, yeah, you know, you've got some dodgy websites that might be there like, hey, give us your ID, and they might, you know, run off and do spooky shit. But at that point, maybe just don't use dodgy websites? I don't know. I think the people who are complaining the loudest are the ones who are trying to stir up shit for every single thing that Labour does. Not that I'm saying that Labour has done everything right. They definitely have done some clangers. But, like, I don't know. The protection laws for the internet in general are just a net overall positive. So I don't know. But when it comes to already adults, it kind of sucks because I don't own a credit card. Like, I don't mind showing my AD. I think the law is good. I just think the Steam went the wrong way about age verification. Are you sure it's just a credit card? Steam age verification UK. Does it have to be a credit card, or like, is it like when it says credit card? Normally, a lot of places when they say credit card, they mean you can also use a debit card. You know. Has to be credit. They don't allow debit. Well, that is very stupid, and I agree with that because a lot of people don't want to have a credit card. Like, I told my folks I didn't want to get a credit card for so long. Because I knew that if I got a credit card, I would basically just, like, insta-spend it. And they convinced me to get a credit card, and what did I do? I insta-maxed it out. And I'm still paying off my credit card debt. Because I am, you know, I'm not amazing with money. It might surprise people to know. So yeah, I fully agree with that. Like, I don't mind, I think, you know, the ID verification for people whose faces don't look like they're old enough, that's, you know, it is what it is. With trustworthy companies like Steam and stuff that need to follow GDPR rules, it is what it is. It's, yeah, it sucks and it's a minor inconvenience, but I had the same conversation with people when I have this conversation about, like, we should, hold on, let me gather my thoughts. I had this pretty much exact same conversation when the UK outlawed selling tobacco and selling single-use vapes. Because a lot of my students, when they heard about that law, they were like, "Oh, that's so stupid. People are just gonna get them anyway. They're just gonna have to get it off the black market." And I'm like, okay, but would you not agree? And, you know, mirror this with, like, oh yeah, still kids are still gonna access things on the internet that they're not supposed to. And it's like, would you rather a system where any kid can access anything, tobacco in this instance, or pornography or whatever, really easily, in that they don't need verification, they can just log on, there's a button that says, "Are you 18?" and they go, Or would you rather that some kids who are a little crafty and can get around the system do, but it makes it a lot more difficult for those, and in general, access will be restricted? Like, if, like, with the, going back to the tobacco thing, the fact that we will see tobacco sales drop significantly, and, you know, people will still get their hands on vapes, people will still get their hands on tobacco, but you can't just walk into a Tesco and go, "Yeah, give me a vape." Like, it's gonna be more difficult to do, is a net overall win, right? Like, you're gonna get a lot more people to stop doing shit like that by putting up that roadblock. Hello, Whooper. Aw, look at this adorable little bean. We missed the Geodude here, but honestly, I don't mind getting a Quagsire. I quite enjoy a Quagsire. Who's a muddy little dude? I need a muddy little dude. Who's, is it Pigpen from, yeah, well, this can be Pigpen from the, Charlie Brown. From the Charlie Brown. You know? You guys know Pigpen from the Charlie Brown? Let's have a look here. So these are all of our encounters. Let's have a little look-see. Okay, neutral nature. Shell armor is pretty decent. Damp, which we knew. Special defense up. Okay, likely candidate for a Poliwhirl. Probably not going to make him a Poliwrath with a minus attack thing. Synchronize. I wonder what they've changed for Ralts. Let me just have a look here. Ralts. So, they made Ralts a decent amount stronger just on base. They gave him Confusion straight up. Oh, so this thing actually couldn't have teleported. Disarming Voice, Double Team, Confusion, Growl. 65 special attack off the rip. That's not bad. Major buffs for Curlier. Gardevoir is completely normal. And then let's have a look at Gallade. Did they give Gallade sharpness? Nope. Gallade is exactly the same. So let's have a look at... so Synchronize is the normal ability. Synchronize in Gardevoir will turn into Synchronize instead of Trace, which I think is fine. Because we can... I think we can lead God of War. I have to test that. Can we, like, pre-burn Ralts and then lead with it to synchronize? That's a very good question. This does also mean that we can get sassy synchronizing, which it is what it is. If the opponent causes okay, if the opponent causes a burn, okay, but like we can switch this into things that we think are gonna like will-o-wisp and shit, and that could be pretty good. Water absorb, nice, and up special defense, very very nice. Okay, good, decent IVs across the board. Higher attack, but that's, you know, it's negligible really at that point. Decent speed. Tons of defensive IVs, even if no offensive IVs. 0 health is a bummer, but not terrible. Really good special, actually decent IVs here across the board. Don't really need Poliwrath to be, or Politoad to be particularly fast, so fine. Shell armor, great attack. Terrible speed, but that's fine. Okay, you know what? The back half of our encounters here have actually not been too bad. That's an okay group of Mon. So let's build a quick team for Kiwi's first encounter. This is with a Piplup. So we bring Turtwig. He leads Starly. Could we just bring Pichu? Because this should like immediately evolve into Pikachu, right? And then for Munchlax, we're going to want something that's just going to hit it really hard. So I think we bring Mr. Krabs. And then we bring our boy Bulbasaur as... Oh, you know what? We can bring Wooper here, actually, instead of Bulbasaur. You stay there. I'm going to take your Miracle Seed and give it to this dude. Because in this game you get max happiness off the bat, I think, yeah, that's just going to go straight into being a Pikachu. So I do wonder if we can actually just roll through the Starly. Having an early electric type here is pretty decent. Thunder Wave, nice. Oh, we have Thunder Shock and Disarming Voice. Okay, this is not terrible. This is a pretty decent Pikachu to start off with. We're going to go to level 12 with all these guys. Double Kick. That's interesting. Not gonna teach you double kick for now, but we'll maybe we'll circle back to that. Curse could be interesting instead of absorb. Why not? Fury Swipes, just a straight upgrade from scratch. Mr. Krabs wants to learn Mud Shot, which sure, it's a special move, so it's not something that we're likely to use tons of, but. Why not? Why not indeed? Wobbuffet. Okay. Slam can go instead of Mud Sport. Why the fuck are we reducing electric type attacks? Okay. So, Pikachu, you're gonna get the Expert Belt because you are looking to do super effective damage. We're just gonna give you, like, I don't know, Scope Lens. Why not? I don't know what to give you. Nothing. You can have nothing. Pigpen, you can get Metronome, I guess, because if we're using you to try and fight, Piplup. And then Sharp Beak for my boy the bird. Alright, folks! First actual fight of this run. Let's get it. Not gonna lie, that's a lot of legal stuff, sadly. Oh, wait, hold on. Give me, sorry, chat, give me a sec. Let me catch up with your guys' thoughts. Without being too far into it, I'd rather parents do their jobs with that many kids' safety, providing tools given to them that they can't monitor them. No, I agree. I fully agree that parents should take responsibility for looking after their kids. However, Frog, would you not argue that in the year 2025, a kid that is, you know, going to school by themselves, walking to school by themselves, or... you know, has any responsibility where they are not with the parent, should have a way of being contacted. I'm not saying every kid needs, like, an iPhone, right? But, like, I think if you're going to let your kid go on like play dates or walk to school by themselves, they should have at least a flip phone so that they can get in contact with you or the police or whatever, right? I think that's important. You can call me paranoid for it, but 2025, the world that we live in is a really dangerous place. So I think people should have phones, and we live in the 21st century. I'm not ignoring the fact that if you're gonna give a kid a phone, you're likely not gonna give them a Nokia brick, even though I think that's a really good option. You can't always monitor and restrict what your kids are going to be watching and doing. And there's only so much you can do as a parent. So having tools out there that restrict what kids can do on the internet, I think is a good option. But there should be that balance, right? Of parents need to take responsibility for what their kids are consuming online with some protections from people. Because if I'm a parent and I know that my kid's a gamer, right? I can't go on my router and restrict Baldur's Gate 3, right? But my 10-year-old could be up in their room playing BG3 and I might not know, right? So I think having some sort of protections there, it's just, got to go. If it goes too far, it's not great. I'm also both not a credit card owner and not face that's younger IRL than my age by nearly... What? Not a credit card owner and not face that's younger than... You're gonna have to retype that message for me, Frog. I don't understand. Do you think the law is good? I just think there needs to be a better standard of verification across the board. For sure. Absolutely, Reese. 1 billion% agree. Yeah. More clarification will never be a bad thing, Pikachu, more like gotta chew on these. My mom has an app to track my brother's phone, but those phones have safety monitoring features, including what they download, which have existed when I was a teen. Yeah. You can connect them on a Steam account as a family, creating restrictions. Yeah, for sure you can, but this is kind of what this is leaning into, right? You can set up these accounts, and what Steam is just saying is that you now need to prove that you're an adult yourself to be able to access older games, which is fine. But if they are forcing people to use only credit cards, that's problematic for sure. Okay, Thunder Sneeze takes out the Starly. Should be Munchlax now. Now, I'm pretty convinced Munchlax is going to use Amnesia here. Well, I'm just going to double check this. Disarming Voice. Pokemon, this attack lands. Okay, this is not what I thought it was. So we're going to go to Mr. Krabs. Because I trust Mr. Krabs to be able to do some pretty decent damage. He doesn't really care if he's slow. And we're just going to Vice Grip. That's pretty decent. We're not in crit range, and we have Shell Armor, so we can't be crit. Get him one more Vice Grip before we need to switch. He's got Rock Tomb, so we don't want to switch to anything that's going to struggle against that necessarily. We're going to go back to Mickey. He hasn't raised his... Whoa! Okay, well, thank you, Static. That's pretty huge. We got a second Shell Armormon here, and we're just gonna tackle it out for the win. Rock Tomb should be resisted, right? Because Grass type. No? Oh. Shows what I know. Again, we're Shell Armor, so we can't be crit. We're never dead to another Rock Tomb. And then last but not least, this is Piplup for probably Peck. So let's go to our own bird. We can do some wing attacks of our own. This thing should start water pulsing. That's great. Fine. And now we can switch to Pigpen. Not sure if this could be random. That could be a Peck. Yeah. But that's all that's going to do now. The AI doesn't see moves like Water Absorb and Dry Skin. So I don't think Barry... yeah, we just win. Water Pulse? I didn't know it was alive. Well, you never checked. You never asked. Alright. First major battle off the board. And by major battle, I mean, it's fucking Barry. Okay, let me have a quick look at our Pokemon options here on Route 203. Because a guaranteed Crawdon is never a bad idea. Especially when the route is, what, Bidoof, Spearow, Seedot, Lotad, Cubone, and Abra. So I think this is a shoo-in for just we get Krabby. Not Krabby, Corphish. Which is just a better version of, just a better version of my boy Krabby. Sorry, Krabby. Okay, we need another crab. What's the crab thing from One Punch Man? Crab guy from One Punch Man. Crablante! That's cab. Crablante. Okay, nice. Wow. That's only in the UK. US is unaffected by that. Yeah, it's true. Had to read terms and service. Same with Discord. I don't know. I don't think there will ever be a perfect lore system. I mean, no, there will never be a perfect lore system. But I think a lot of people have unfortunately been propagandized against any sort of government approach, which, you know, say what you like, but at the end of the day, not to sound like, oh, no, don't give up on Shockwave. Shockwave is pretty good for this stage in the game. What's Thundershock? 40, Shockwave 60, and it can't miss. At the end of the day, we live in a society, and government works best when it is serving the people. So if you have a system of government that only works for corporate elites, or only works for certain people in powerful positions... Why did I switch to Krabby? There is no water-type move in Krabby's arsenal. Then you don't have a system that works, right? But on the flip side, if you have... Why am I here? Why am I doing this? This is a terrible idea. When you have a system where the government is there to take money away from people and feed it back into the rich and powerful, then that is when your government no longer works, right? That is not government for the people. That is just government. That is just a big, large body of power that is not there to represent the people. So, while I agree that, you know, there is definitely a balancing act. So, like, for example, in this country, Frog, which you might not be aware of, back after the Second World War, we had a economic system called Keynesianism, which is where the ultra-rich were very highly taxed. It was something like they were taxed 90p on every pound they made over $1 million. So after the first million, like they would get taxed regularly on all the money that they made before £1 million a year. Then after $1 million, they would be, oh, adaptability is really good. Please show me a decent attack IV. Nice! Okay. That is a fucking crab. Why am I doing that? Get rid of the other crab. And it worked really, really well. Unemployment in the country was really, really low because a lot of our industries were government-backed. So it was basically, if you didn't have a job, it was the government's job to find you work, right? And we had certain industries that were regulated quite heavily by the government, so that people could basically be guaranteed work, which is a great system. when Maggie Thatcher was put into power, a lot of her campaigning was built around this idea that people were, and the poor and the people who were living in that way, who weren't earning, you know, enough money to reasonably live by themselves, she basically went through and was there like, yeah, they're stealing your money, they're living off the, what she called the nanny state. And it basically was a way of transferring a lot of the power and consolidating it back into the wealthy. Which is why you see nowadays in the UK a lot of council estates where people are not doing great, because for all intents and purposes, the country's left them behind. And, you know, you can be out there and be one of those people who's like, well, you know, it's their own fault, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we used to have a system of government that worked for the people. And they secured work and a minimum standard of living for a lot of people who lived here. And then when Thatcher came into power, not only did she remove that system, she also shut down a lot of the industry that we had in the UK. A lot of mines ended up closing because of her policies. And she sold off the rights to our national grid and our national water to private investors. So the people of the UK now no longer own their national water systems, which is a big problem, because we are now just so happening to be in a position where a lot of those systems are now failing us. We are... Oh, a Torchic? Wait, hold on. Ooh. Quick, kick chicken. Saitama. Yeah. Saitama. Hold on. Hold. Go to kick chicken. Okay, up speed. Speed boost. Let's fucking go, baby. Oh my goodness, what a dude. Now that is a fucking chicken. Hey Oz, how's it going, man? Welcome in. But yeah, basically, in the UK right now, one of the things that we are struggling with the most is that there is so much sewage in our water systems. Like, an absurd amount. Like, the amount of pollution in British water is insane. And it's, you know, in no small part because we do not have ownership of our water lines anymore. Which also means that the people, okay, I'll put it this way, right? When the UK, when the people in the UK owned our own water systems, we would pay our water companies, and then the water companies, who are owned and operated by the government, by the people, right, would gain their money from tax. So people would pay their water bills via tax and via, you know, their regular bills. And then they would be incentivized because, you know, they are owned by us to behave correctly. Alternatively, what we have now is we all pay these water companies, these electric companies that used to be British owned, and all that money goes to some business owner overseas. They pay taxes in a different country, and that none of that money comes back into us, into our systems. So we end up in a system where more and more money is being siphoned away from the UK into foreign entities, into foreign countries, because, you know, half of the property in the UK is owned by Russian oligarchs. And what what can we do about that? So yeah, it's that I fully agree that there needs to be balance there, but you this can be Vegeta, why not? Oh wait, no, hold on, this is Ben 10, obviously. Ben Tennyson. Yeah, Ben 10, that's fine. But yeah, so while I agree that there has to be, you know, those checks and balances, we can't rely on the government to solve everyone's problems for everything. If we don't have a government that works for the people and has systems in place to support the residents of their company, then what's the point of having a government, right? That's my argument. Forgot to wave to chat. Hi, Oz. How you doing, man? I'm not really the own fault, as always the answers. Backgrounds matter to me in those issues. I disagree. Okay, I pose this question to you, right? If we're going to talk about, you know, people's backgrounds having an effect. If I grew up on a council estate, right? I'll put it this way. If I grew up in the middle of like some really rough council estate, right? Because my parents couldn't get work, in this example, you know, let's say because they had to, let's say my dad was a miner, miner, M-I-N-E-R. He worked in the mines. Mine got shut down. He had to move and relocate to someplace else to try and find other work. Let's say that other place was a really rough council estate. By very nature of where I was born, which I have no control over, right? I am now in a place where not only is it rough because people are poor, and, you know, we see that when money disparity is big, crime goes up. Not necessarily when people don't have, you know, tons and tons of money, but when people don't have enough to get by, crime goes up. So I'm in a situation now where I'm constantly surrounded by crime. The people I'm growing up around are probably in crime in some way, shape, or form. The schools that I'm going to aren't as good as schools that are in better areas because, you know, it doesn't attract the same quality of teachers because of the crime, because of the area. And then when I want to go and get work for myself, I am then lesser educated and from an area that's known to be quite rough. So you tell me, is that fair to then judge my background? Because completely out of my control, I grew up in an area where there was less opportunity for me, and I was at a major disadvantage from the get-go. This isn't sounding like your fault. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm coming from, right? Oh shit, hold on, we missed our encounter in here. Repeller's disabled. Give me Geodude. Fuck! That's not a Geodude. Of course it is, just be born into royalty. Yeah. Alright, a mole character. I was just saying that background of knowing the situation mattered to me personally. Background of knowing... I don't understand. But, like, and that's part of the problem we have over here, right, Oz? Because the government... And this is literally... You can trace this back. And when people say that there's not propaganda in the 20th century, they're fucking wrong. When Thatcher was in power, and then when the Tories kind of took over for a long period of time after that, there was literally, we saw the demonization of the lower class by, you know, the papers were pumping out stories about chavs, about, you know, these scroungers who are there to, you know, live off the world, live off your hard-earned money by scamming the benefit system, blah, 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 blah. And they literally created this system of if you were born in a rough area, you were designated a chav. You were designated lesser than because where you were born, where you were brought up, and what your economic status was. And because of that, those people then face worse opportunities, worse job opportunities, and just generally were frowned at by people. And now, here we are, what, 30-odd years later? When was Thatcher in power? Here we are... Yeah, here we are some 50 years later, and we still have, to this very day, a system where even Labour, which is a party that's supposed to be for the people, is so against bringing people together and kind of getting rid of these myths of, oh yeah, the chavs, the scroungers, the whatever, that they are still perpetuating this idea that people on benefits are there to steal your money. when in 99% of cases, and there's always going to be people who cheat the system and, you know, who get things off their own, you know, off their own back for things that they don't deserve. No system's going to fix that. But you have even Labour convinced and perpetuating these ideas that the people who are on benefits are there just to steal your money. And it's fucking it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm going to call this guy the Underminer. That's the guy from a cartoon. As a Labour member, I fully agree that Labour is no longer the part of the people, especially under Starmer. He's splitting people more than getting them together. Fully correct. Fully agree. Absolutely agree. And it's sad, really, because I remember when Labour got into power, thinking to myself, wow, holy shit, things might actually change. And I remember listening, yes, Geodude, okay, this is what we wanted, this is good. I remember sitting and thinking to myself, listening to Starmer's, like, first address of the nation, and just thinking, wow, that, you know, it was great to listen to a politician and feel hopeful for the first time in fucking ever. Who's the guy who turns into rock? He's like Ketsu or something like that. Not Rocklock. What's he called? Kirishima, that's it, thank you. Kirishima. Yeah, I remember watching the first address of the nation and thinking, wow, for the first time, we might actually see some unity in this country for the first time in years. And then, well, it's just not happened really, has it? First thing they did, honestly, charging farmers more inheritance tax. People can fucking complain about it, but these are people who are inheriting millions and millions in property that they, for the most part, have not really earned. And yeah, we should be taxing inherited wealth, because it doesn't even line up with the arguments of the people who are there like, oh, you know, don't tax the rich, they've worked for that money. Yeah, okay, they've worked for that money, have they? And that's why they only got it when their folks died. And that was a great start, but then they were there like, yeah, we're cutting the budget for the NHS, we're cutting benefits for you know, older people, we're cutting energy bill support, which, again, by the way, if you did the maths, this really fucking gets my goat, chat. So, for those of you not in the UK, you might not know that the UK, for a couple years now, since the energy prices have skyrocketed, thanks to the, since the Russia-Ukraine war, the UK has been giving out millions and millions of pounds to families, to elderly people, to support with growing energy bills, which is good. That's a good thing, by the way. But it would cost them less to just buy back the energy companies from foreign vested interests than it does them paying all that money to those companies. It would literally cost them less to renationalize our energy grids than it does to throw money at a problem that they created and now refusing to solve. That really fucking gets my goat. It's one of the things that really fucking pisses me off. Sounds like the UK has just given up. That, pretty much, be why you're all voting all the Indian and Pakistani people into power now. UK is turning into India from the sounds of it. No, that's... So, Oz, remind me where you're from, mate. And the only reason I'm asking is because it's... Unfortunately, that is such a pushed narrative that it's a little upsetting that that's something that has made it out to the outside world, right? This country is not turning into India or anything like that by any means. We just have fucking diversity. And we're at the stage now where families that immigrated to the UK 3, 4, 5 generations ago are, you know, starting to get more involved in our political system, which is a good thing, by the way. Danish, our media sucks. They're trying to push narratives all the time, so I don't doubt it's not correct. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the UK is, at this point in time, really trying to push these narratives of immigrants wanting to come over and steal your shit, and I unfortunately, I hear so much shit from my students and from other people as well. All this shit about immigrants coming off boats and being given, like, the new iPhone and shit like that, and it's like, can you, like, it genuinely makes me sad that we've gotten to a point with the propaganda in this country that people genuinely believe that the UK government is handing every immigrant who comes off a small boat a brand new iPhone 52, whatever the fuck generation of iPhone we're at. When in reality, they get put in a hotel room with, you know, 8 other people, and they get given £6.25 a day to live off, including buying food, clothes, maintenance, etc. And yet in this country, we still have people who, I mean, Jesus, even just earlier on this week, we've had protests in my part of the country where people are basically protesting that the hotels that are housing these refugees, these asylum seekers, and basically trying to get them shut down for putting up immigrants who, in a lot of cases, don't really want to be here. If you ask a majority of people who are in the country by, you know, immigration, a lot of them will tell you this is not where they want to be. They want to be home. They want to be where they can live and where they grew up. But unfortunately, we live in a society, a global society, where the world is unfortunately just not that kind. Which is sad, you know? A lot of these people who are over sponging off the UK. They don't want to be here any more than, you know, these people want them here, but because of the so one of the biggest issues that we have in the UK at the moment is that we don't have enough admin staff in our government. Our immigration systems are so backed up. Yes, in no small part due to the giant influx that we've had. But, you know, look around the world. There's like 4 different wars going on in the Middle East right now. The Ukraine war. You know, there's tons of places where people very rightly want to get away from. But the thing that's stopping a lot of our legal immigration processes is that we just simply do not have enough admins to process all the people who are coming into the UK. And I'm really glad you brought up reform here, Reese, because it made me laugh so much. The other day, Farage, who you guys don't know, he's the leader of Reform UK, which is a far-right political movement who are, they don't want to explicitly say that they are the racist party, but yeah, fill in the gaps. And I'll clarify this. I don't think everyone who likes some of the policies that Reform are putting out is a racist. I'm not calling anyone who is a Reform supporter inherently racist. But a lot of the motivations of Farage and the rest of his party are steeped in nationalism, which in of itself normally comes from a place of racism. What made me laugh about Farage the other day is that he went, if Reform get into power, they're going to round up every immigrant and send them back home. And in my brain, all I went was, yes, we don't have enough money to hire admins to support the immigration process. Which, you know, all these people, they're like, no, we support legal immigration. They don't. We don't have enough money to employ admins to get the legal process done properly, but we do have enough money to hire all these police to go door to door, rounding up immigrants a la ICE. Just made me laugh. Yeah, that's basically what Reese said. Reform's focus isn't on fixing issues. They just want to make a white ethno-state, which is why they peddle propaganda like saying people like the Southport killer, who you guys might have heard about because it sparked not international riots, it sparked big riots in London. The big narrative from both Reform and the Conservatives was that this guy was an immigrant, he came over in a boat, blah blah blah. He was from Wales, he was a Welsh dude. Fuck what's going on with the Middle East and Ukraine. That's not Europe's problem. World has gotten too small. Help your neighbor. If Denmark was going to war for whatever reason, could not stay and fight, I would go to another Scandinavian country. Not halfway around the world. It's not always that simple, Oz. It's not always that simple. You say that, right? But whether you like it or not, we live in a world. And the world, it is not always that simple. It is not 100% that simple. Because, think about it. If I am in, let's say, Gaza, right? And I want to leave Gaza, where am I going to go? Pakistan? Which is also a place that is struggling right now. Iran? No, like, a lot of that area is struggling. So, of course, they're going to go and find a place where it's going to be generally safe. And right now, Europe is one of the safer places to be. It is, yeah, it is not as simple as just go to your next door neighbor country, you know? It's just not that simple. I wish it was. But the problem is, right? If you subscribe to that ideology and you think that they should just go to another place, if you have one country that's on the brink of collapse and people flood into another country that is barely getting by, you end up with that country also likely collapsing. So, it is, unfortunately, in a global stage, the responsibility of countries who are in a better economic position to help citizens of the nations who are struggling. Whether you like it or not, that line of thinking only leads to a bigger problem. Because if people in Gaza go to Pakistan, as an example, and Pakistan ends up collapsing because they don't have the resources to support that, then people are going to flee that country, and it's a giant knock-on effect. World has not gotten too small. The world is unfortunately getting too small, which is why we're seeing big rises in nationalism and isolationism-driven ideologies in big Western countries, because we, unfortunately, in the West, and I say this unfortunately because it's, it's a double-edged sword, and I'm not saying this to wish bad on anyone, but we have gotten very comfortable. We haven't had a major war in Europe for nearly 100 years. Over 100 years. When did the Second World War end? Something along those lines. So, we get very comfortable with this idea of, oh, these people are selfish, they're coming over here to help. We don't recognize that, that could be us. In another situation, in another time, yeah, I don't know. Let's move on back to calmer waters, shall we? Yeah, let's move away. We'll go back into calmer waters. In fact, let's fuck up Rourke with a little strategy that I think you guys are going to enjoy. So, Geodude is holding the metronome. I also finished Expedition 33. Ooh, nice. No spoilers. You're in for a real treat, I'll say that. I'm so excited. So, Nose Pass. Nose, Stealth Rock, Sandstorm, Thunderwave, and Shockwave. Note, none of those moves can hit Geodude. What we are going to do is we are going to polish this rock until he is the fastest rock you have ever seen. Nose Pass has nothing that he can do to us. We are then going to curl up and defend as many times as possible. That's 6 times. 4, 5, 6. Just gonna double check. I think that's everything. Yep. And now, Because we have the item metronome, every time we click the same move in a row, we get a, I believe, 5% power boost on that move. So here's the first bulldoze. Now, normally, we would look at this and go, okay, that's a range to kill, or that's not going to kill. Because of the metronome, still doesn't kill, but this is perfect range. In fact, this is mega perfect, because this way we get another stack of bulldoze from metronome. There we go. Small little damage boost. I think at this point, we're at the same level of power that soft sand would give us. With another one, that's +4. Well, that's really fucking unfortunate. Oh, good. Well, chat, we might be in some trouble here now. Okay, well, we got a pivot. Now we actually have to think about this fight. I just brought a bunch of other shitters who I thought might do well. Alright, we're just going to keep bullet seeding. Sandstorm, for those of you who don't know, Sandstorm increases the special defense of any rock types who are in it. Give it 10 years, we're going to have race or religious wars in... I think that's very close-minded, and if you want to look at crime, honestly, this is another thing that you should really look into if these kind of conversations are interesting to you. I'm not sure actually about global stats, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But at least in the UK, crime is proportional. So if you look at the statistics of people with immigration statuses in the UK and people without immigration statuses, the level of crime committed is proportional. So I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but to make it easier as to what I mean, if you think, for example, and again, I don't know if the numbers of my head, if you look at, you know, the racial makeup of the UK, this might have to be a sacrifice of Mr. Krabs. If you were to see that, like, the racial makeup of the UK is like 80% British UK, 20% whatever else, you would you'd see that the crime committed is fully proportional. So UK natives are just as likely to commit crime as any other group in the UK. So the whole immigration causes more crime is a myth. It's not a real stat. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. We lose worst crab, which isn't too bad, but losing Geodude there is unfortunate. It is what it is. It's, you know, we did what we could, but can't always play around. Well, you know, the chances that we get crit there is unfortunate. And I don't know, actually, I think my Geodude might be down defense because I'm not sure that should have killed him. No, actually, this thing is super defensive, super tanky, so damn, that thing just fucking minced us. And who else did we lose? We lost Worst Crab, didn't we? Okay, now we're heading over to double battle with Galactic Grunt. Let me just death counter at 2. Level cap is 26. Got a good amount of leeway here. If there's something I can't afford, there's something I can afford. Amazing. I've seen Snatch. The poorer UK people are a bit crimey-wimey, but in Denmark, Germany, it's hugely disproportional. So just this is from a very quick search, and I obviously would need to cross-reference and do a bit deeper digging. From a cursory look at Germany's crime numbers, yeah, so very similar to the UK. While leaders of the far-right parties in Germany have claimed that crime is rising with immigration, crime in Germany has fallen to the lowest level since 1992. German Interior Ministry says, in fact, last year, 27 illegal migrants either committed or attempted to commit murder or manslaughter. The 448 figure refers to killings or attempted killings by all asylum seekers and refugees, most of whom are in Germany legally, not illegal immigrants. But that is 447 out of, I don't know, I have to find the overall numbers. 15% of the total suspects linked to crimes in Germany last year. So, you know, what do you think? 15% of crime is committed by immigrants and both legal and illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. Okay, would you not count them as real Germans in most statistics? Oz. Like... hold on, that's a whole separate argument. Because you can't... you can't argue that people committing crimes are migrants and immigrants, and then say, oh, it's third generation, fourth generation immigrants who've been there for nearly 100 years. You know, like, at that point, how does that count? Right? Right, we're looking at Stunky and Glammy out to start with Silcoon and Cascoon in the back. If I remember right, actually, Rival is actually not terrible at dealing with these guys. I'm just going to bring some random shitters. Can't believe we lost Geodude in that fight, man. That's so fucking unfortunate. Not that I think we would use Geodude really in many other situations, but like, having a Golem is just kind of... Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, we're probably fine here. What are they gonna do to us? Bulldoze. We switch to Bird. That kills you. Bulldoze again. Wing attack Kricketot. Rollout's pretty spooky, but we're gonna go Bulldoze and then wing attack again. Dead. Scratch. Wing attack. Dead. Fine. Okay. Boom. Hey, remember when you said you'd sack that Kricketot? He's getting revenge. I know he isn't. No, he most certainly is not. I don't mind people coming and living in Denmark, but you get because a horse, just because you birth a sheep in the horse shed? What? there needs to be integration for them to be Danish, not just to live here or be born here. That last part is solely missing. You do not get a horse. You don't get a horse just because you birth a sheep in the horse shed. That's so dehumanizing, Osley. These are people, not horses, man. Like, I grew up in Spain, right? That's my first language, it's my first culture, it's my first, you know, experience of being alive and human. I have a Spanish passport. I have Spanish citizenship. You know, legally, I count as Spanish. I also have citizenship in the UK, but I didn't move here until I was 10. You know? English was my second language. This is my second culture. Like, does that mean that I'm neither Spanish nor English? Because my folks aren't Spanish. Like, genetically speaking, I'm not a born Spaniard. See, you were Spanish then. Okay, but I wasn't born in Spain. I grew up there. Right? But what you're saying is that if my parents moved to Spain and I stayed there and I had a kid in Spain who only ever knew being a Spanish citizen, and then they had a kid in Spain who grew up to Spanish parents in Spain, like that wouldn't count as a Spanish kid? What are you saying? UK parents grew up in Spain? No, that's still UK. So even though I have a Spanish passport, Spanish was my first language, I'm a lawful citizen of Spain. That doesn't count to you. Which, okay, fine. But your argument was that second or third generation immigrants don't count. So, by that argument, if I spent my entire life in Spain, I moved there when I was like a year old, right? I have no memories of my life before going to Spain. So my kid, who, for the sake of the argument, I never left Spain, that's where I live, blah, 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 blah. My kid, who would be born, raised, and grown in Spain, right? Being Spanish would be all that they've ever known, right? My kid's kid, so my grandkid, who was born to a Spanish-born citizen, naturalized, grown, etc., all in Spain. That kid, my grandkid, wouldn't count as Spanish to you. Did you marry and have children with a Spanish person or another UK person? Why does it matter? Why would it matter? What you're suggesting is that people from a country can never migrate. There's no such thing as immigration, which is so unbelievably, like, closed-minded and unrealistic. Like, at what point, then, Osley, would my kids be counted as Spanish in your brain? Okay, Lucas leads Snubble, so I think we could just start Diglett and just groove. Yeah, hold on. But by your argument, Osley, there's no such thing as Americans. Like, it just doesn't make sense what you're saying. You have a Turtwig and didn't name it after you? It's not the theme, Brit. I'm sorry. They are Americans because they took over the place. How does... What? How does that work? Oz, come on, man. I love you, but you gotta see how insane that sounds. Right? So, like... by your argument, my grandkid, right? When they integrate, as long as you keep doing UK stuff in Spain, you'll never be... What is doing UK stuff in Spain? Like, define doing UK stuff. Like, following UK law? Because the laws in Spain and the laws in the UK are very much similar. If not identical. And, again, right? Immigrants, like, whoever has put this out there, right? A genius fucking, what's the word I'm looking for here? Propagandists. The people who have convinced nationalists that immigrants don't follow the law have gotta be, like geniuses. Like, how people have convinced entire swathes of humans that if someone moves from the Middle East, where, by the way, murder is illegal in the Middle East as well, just putting it out there, convincing them that when they come to the UK or any other country, they then don't have to follow the law of the country they've immigrated to, those people are insane. No, you live in Spain all your life, born from UK parents, but when you get a wife, you get a wife from the UK, and your children get wives. When your children get wives, they get a wife from the UK or another UK family living in Spain. But these kids are still Spanish citizens who've grown up in Spain. That's all they've ever known. I mean, I guess we'll just disagree, Osley, because I can't see the world that way. And from a quasi-immigrant experience, I'll never understand that point of view. Because, I claim Spanish culture more than I claim UK culture. And, like, by the same argument, right, you're saying that, Americans took over America and that's why they're allowed to count themselves as American rather than UK citizens, still GBs. If I was a English citizen, fuck it, we'll move away from England. If I was a Dutch citizen, right? And me and my partner immigrated to America when America was first founded. And I married, and my kids then married other Dutch settlers. And then they married other Dutch settlers. Would that still make them Dutch, or would that make them American? Everyone is Dutch. And yeah, and like by that extension, are we all still technically African? Because, as evolution went on and as early human cultures evolved, we all migrated from African territories. Or what is now Africa. Like, in that argument, Oz, there is never a point where someone could be, fully naturalized. And what does that mean for countries that have falling population rates, who are actively encouraging migration because it helps replace citizens who aren't reproducing at rates that are good? Like Japan. Japan is, like, actually, a lot of countries across the world are really dipping in population, and Australia is begging for immigration so that people can come in and replace the workers who are going to leave the workforce in a couple years' time. Like, at what point did they become Australian? Right? Sorry, man. We will just disagree on that, and that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. I don't know that I'll ever be able to see that line of thinking. Okay, we got a Cyndaquil. Okay, so we already have, like, 2 more fire types than we ever got in the last run. I need a hedgehog. This guy can be Sonic, right? Sonic the Hedgehog got a whole cartoon. I'm lost. It's alright, Brett. We should move on anyway. I feel like legally immigrating to Australia is the most Australian thing that you can do. But, like, what does that mean for the Aboriginals, Name after time. Brit, the theme is anime. We can't just go naming random things. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Alright, one of these people has the light ball, which we are going to desperately need. The most Australian thing that you can do is get sent there for punishment. Okay, but by that extension, are Australians not just British people who were taken there as prisoners? Like, that only happened, like, 150 years ago. Okay, yeah, like, that only happened, like, 300 years ago. 250 years ago. Like, at what point? Oh, my God. Like, that's the most frustrating thing about this argument, is that, like, where do you draw the artificial line? So if you catch Murkrow, you have to name it after the bird from Demon Hunters. Britt, if you can find me what the name of that fucking crow is, I would be so glad to, because I cannot for the life of me find their name. Did you want to show me? Yeah, Pikachu. Give me the light ball. Yeah. Right, this is the only way that this thing is fucking... It's the weeb run. Blame, Gwyn. This was fully Gwyn's fault. Oh. Australia is known for its very fragile economy. Okay. Okay, show me up special attack. Okay, up speed is fine. Show me adaptability. Okay, Blaze is okay. It's decent. This is an okay Cyndaquil. It's not amazing, but it is what it is. Okay, let's go fight some fucking grunts. And catch maybe a better electric type. This is, in fact, not a better electric type. Okay. Thunderdog. Hey, at least it's electric. Yeah, but... Missed Magnemite, missed Elekid. Name it Derpy. Okay, Britt, I will name it Derpy if you can tell me what anime that's from. Talking about Dark Shadow or something? Dark Shadow could be fun. But I don't think it necessarily... Oh, we could call it, is it Tetsu? Not Tetsu. What's it called? Kaminari! Yeah. Kaminari. That is why Americans, UK, and Australian people are basically the same. Native Americans and Aborigines, on the other hand, are very different, but they got supplanted. We might get supplanted in Europe also, and then what is being European might change. But as of 2025, just living here in a parallel society does not make you European. Okay, but do you understand? Like, okay, I'll phrase this differently, because this isn't me. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to argue against this idea. That idea that you're saying that we might be supplanted comes from a place of panic, right? The Great Replacement Theory, right? Which, you know, as long as you have people who want to be a part of your culture and want to, you know, be a part of that, it is what it is. But, like, people who have been convinced that, you know, the white European race is going to be supplanted and replaced, it's just not realistic, you know? We're not gonna be replaced because we accept people who are fleeing from wars into our country. And as long as those people want to be a part of our culture, historically it does not end well for Christians when they become the minority in a country. Okay, Osley, if we're gonna talk about religion, can we also agree that it doesn't end well for any other religion when Christianity becomes the dominant religion in that area? Like, that is the worst argument you could have pulled up. Like, Christians have persecuted every other race, including Muslims and Islams. Like, it's so interesting to me how people who are Christian seem to conveniently forget the atrocities that Christians have committed. Like, you know? Which is insane to me. No, they have kicked back against Muslims and Islam. That is not the same. Osley, I love you, man, but it is just not true when Christianity has committed so many atrocities against other religions? The Middle East used to be Christian? Yeah, because the Christians invaded! The Middle East also used to be Islamic, and also Muslim, and, you know... Christianity supplanted Roman beliefs supplanted Greek beliefs supplanted Egyptian belief. Like, religion is constantly changing and supplanting the beliefs that came before it. Like, you can't sit here and say Christianity came first, because before people might have been some pagans, but wait, what do you mean some pagans before them? My brother! Osley, you can't believe that Christianity was the first religion. It just, even from Christianity's standpoint, it doesn't make sense. Because Romans were there in the Bible. And before the Romans, there were Egyptian religions, there were Mayan religions, there were... You're a Smite player. You should know all these different pantheons and belief systems existed before Christianity. Hindi is an older belief system than Christianity. Like... I'm so sorry to get up on my high horse, but, like, you can't, just factually, you can't sit here and say Christians are the targeted group, because any religion that is in a minority group is always supplanted by the majority. Yes, sure, that has been Christianity in some sectors, but that has also been Islam and Muslims and Romans and everything. Like... It's just not true. Didn't say Christians didn't kick out someone. You literally said, when I said there were other religions, you said there may have been some pagans. Oz, like, I appreciate where you're coming from, but, like, to say that Christians are a targeted group is only true in far-right religious panic circles. Christians are not the minority. They're not being targeted in a major way. No one is going out of their way to burn down churches or posting on social media different locations of churches to rioters so they can go and brick them. That's not happening. That is happening to mosques and other places of religious importance to other religions that are minority religions in Europe. And, you know, this isn't me saying I agree with, like, religious jihad or other far-right, far-right is a construct, sorry, other extremist policies, but I don't agree with any religion. I think every religion is pretty much unilaterally bad in most cases, alright? This isn't me defending any religion, it's just me stating that you cannot sit here in the 21st century, in the big 2025, and say that Christianity is in any way, shape, or form a minority-targeted group. Even in 2025, Christians are the most persecuted religion in the world. It's just not true! Genocide is going on against Christians all over the world. I'm flawed. I'm just flawed. Sorry, chat. I'm just doing some very quick base reading just to educate myself on this because you know what? I did dismiss that very quickly based on my, my own knowledge and beliefs. So I'm doing my due diligence. I'm doing a quick little very admittedly quite shallow dive into the claims of Christian genocide. There have been quite a few attacks on Christian-based places in places like Burkina Faso, Nigeria, etc. There's one site that's got a general estimated deaths. 62 in Nigeria. Thousands. So this is an article from powermentor.org, blog/global hotspots of Christian persecution, which has in it 5 countries that are listed as the like major Christian genocide spots. 62,000 Christians killed in Nigeria over 24 years. Doesn't include overall deaths or anything. That is a lot, and that's unfortunate. Again, no killing is good in any way, shape, or form. Numbers get a lot less specific the further you go down. 58 Christians killed in Baghdad church bombing in 2010 in Iraq. ISIS genocide, thousands killed or enslaved. Would have to look into the numbers. It's interesting how they have the exact numbers for Nigeria, but not for that. But numbers are often incomplete in global tragedies. Post-Taliban takeover, which again, the Taliban are an extremist group, and I don't condone any actions by any extremist groups from any religion. Full stop. So by this count, from again, this is an article from a blog that's very much supporting this narrative. It's estimating something along the lines of 150,000 people killed over the last 24 years, which is a lot. Doesn't have any numbers on like other groups that have been killed in that time or those numbers, etc. I don't know. Oz. Fair enough, Reese. I don't know. If, I'll do more research into it, Oz. To have a think and more of a look, but in the same vein, I would encourage you to go out and do some more varied research as well into the topic. Only time will tell who is right. I'm not hopeful unless something changes. Continuing this path looks bleak to me. All I'll say is, just as I've gone and done some reading there, and this goes for everyone and everything, right? One of the biggest things, and this, I have conversations like this with students quite often, because I think it's important and to clarify, if a student brings up a topic, I'll talk about it with them, because I think it's important to have spaces for students to have these discussions. But something that I tell my students quite often is when you're doing research into a topic, or you've heard a lot about a topic, make sure that your research is more diverse than the first couple things that you hear. Because very often you need to consider who's telling you narratives. So when I was doing research there, I looked at sources that were pro, sources that were against, sources that were neutral. There's a really great thing called Ground News, which does a really great job of breaking down news sources and biases. I don't have that, so I try and replicate it in my own way. But all I'll say to anyone is when talking about these topics, please make sure that you go out and get as much of the information as you can. Because you never know what you might be missing. But yeah, we can change. I think the new Superman is really fucking good, Reese. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really nice to see a Superman that wasn't fucking bleak and depressed and snapping people's necks. So it was really lovely and refreshing to see a Superman story that was about hope. Injustice Superman? I was talking more about, like, Man of Steel, but... Zack Snyder's Superman mentioned. Indeed. Yeah, you can quote me as not being a Snyder fan. For sure. It has mixed reviews, to say the least. All I'll say, Oz, is that a lot of people didn't like it because it has certain themes, and what people have taken as messages, the creator kind of... the director, sorry, has stated that, you know, how do I put this? Things were happening during the production of the film that were not happening when the film was made. I'll put it that way. And because of that, certain things that are in the film have some real-world parallels. But, you know, a lot of people have review bombed it for being quote-unquote woke. Which it is what it is. People need to stop pushing agendas in movies. People have always pushed agendas in movies. Literally always. But also, you know, it's a Superman movie. And it... and I hate that we're back here, but Superman. The Superman story is a story about immigration. And it just so happens that the Superman film touches on themes of immigration because Superman is and always has been an immigrant. It's not my fault that Reese brought up Superman. But equally, Oz, would you not agree that art is a reflection of the artist? And if the artist doesn't have an angle or an opinion or a view that they want to imbue into their work, does that then not kind of make the work less integrated though? Oz, you can't make this argument! By your own definition, Superman is not American. By your definition. Because he is a first-generation immigrant. You can't flip-flop like this. Oh. By your definition, Oz, Superman is an immigrant. You misunderstood what I said then? You said to me that if I lived in Spain and I married, because when you asked, did I marry a UK wife or a Spanish wife, which by the way, I'm bi, could have been a husband, but that's fine. I said, does it matter? And you went with the UK example. You didn't say anything about the Spanish example. But it's, you know what? Sorry. We said we'd stop. Guy Gardner is quite fun in it, Reese. By fun, I mean he sucks, but in a fun way. You know, like, you know when a character kind of sucks, but like in a way that you kind of like him? What anime has eggs? Anime egg names. Oh, Gudetama! This can be Gudetama! Fucking Gudetama. Yeah! Literal egg. Gudetama. Gudetama. Wow. Heck, I want a Spanish wife. Okay, but if you married a Spanish wife and had kids with her, would your kids be Dutch? I'm done. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done. Sorry. I'm feeling like a little shit today, apparently. Okay, we've got all of our encounters. Let's fucking valley some windworks, shall we? Alright, Mars. Definitely should not be leading with Pikachu against Grimer here. Did you say touch? Sorry. I meant... I'm done! I'm done! I'm done! We're done! I'm done! We're done. Where my boy Geodude at? What's up with the love of Booster Gold at the moment? Ah, fuck. Did you know you can skip this encounter by going, we are the Valley Windworks, and Valley Windworking all over the place? I did not. That's such a good tip. Thanks, man. Okay, how do we deal with coughing? Pain split, assurance, smoke screen, and smog. Do we just go here? Galacting... Yeah, the Team Galactic theme is really fucking funky. Alright, there we go. We have successfully valleyed a windworks. Okay, right, let's plan for Mars now. So, as much as I hate it, Pikachu is coming to this fight. Light Ball Pikachu is admittedly pretty okay for this fight at this stage of the game. So, Pikachu kills Zubat. What comes out next is almost certainly Perugly, because nothing else seems good. So it's either Perugly or Bronzor. If it's Bronzor, with it'll likely be Hypnosis. So we want something that's already going to be burned. So what do we have that's Guts, can likely die and be used as death fodder? Yep, this will do. Let's get rid of Wooper, because I don't think Wooper's going to do much here. And then Perugly at level 19. Goku's here. So is Turtwig, who can we can evolve up into a thing. We can also bring our boy here. Perugly's quite fast, huh? Fake Out, Hypnosis, Facade, and Feint Attack. I think we bring Machop as well. And what we can do, because our level cap is level 26, we can level our boys a little bit here. I think we're going to go to 21 on our Mon. I'm not playing with mid-boss level caps on, so this is absolutely fine. Don't need Spark. And before I learned that Spark is, like, way good. I don't know. I have not seen a lot of the love for Booster Gold. Reese, why don't you tell me about it? What's up with Booster Gold recently? I love the Galactic theme. It's genuinely. So I listened to the we'll take Pursuit, why not? I listen to the jazz playlist when I'm at work quite often. and I will very often just skip straight to Eterna, because Eterna City is where you get the galactic theme, you get the galactic building theme, which is really fucking funky. And then you also get, like, the Eterna City theme, which is one of my favorites in Pokemon, full stop. Just a lot of TikTok edits. Okay, so honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. Raticate is here to die. Raticate is nearly exclusively here to be a sacrifice. He's gonna be useful for Bronzor, and he might very well get a kill. But make no mistake that if we need to sack something to regain momentum, I will have no issue with killing Raticate. That does not bother me. Nice. Bulldoze Grottle with shell armor is kind of really great. Okay. Mega Drain. We don't have great special attack, I'm pretty sure, so I'm just gonna not do that. What is... Oh, we are plus special attack, in fact. And my special attack's pretty solid, but it's still way worse than my attack. Okay, let's do items, and we also want to pre-burn both Raticate and Match Up. Give status effect, burned. So we're doing this because both Raticate and Match Up are, Guts. This also plays to our favor because we can basically bait Perugly into Hypnosis as her main method of doing shit. And that's going to be pretty effective for us. I think we can also... Can we teach Rock Smash to... Yeah, 60 power fighting move to Goku. It's pretty solid. I think just better than Low Kick at this point in the game. I think everything else we are fine with at this point. Right, let's give you... I don't just have like a muscle band, do I? Expert Belt. Was I supposed to pick up the Silk Scarf at some point? I feel like I was. Wait, hold on, chat. Just because this is important, because the Silk Scarf will allow us to basically just do a significant amount of damage more. It's a 20% boost to normal type moves. So getting it is moderately important. Move. Stop looking at me! Thank you. Fuck. Do not perceive me. Yeah, I think this is the Silk Scarf right here. Yeah, nice. Honestly, I didn't like the Schneider movies mainly because, like, the writing was kind of mid. Always interested in seeing new takes on characters. I just didn't personally like the actual writing or motivations of the characters for the most part. But I did really like Gun's version, personally. Okay, so... Right, Silk Scarf for you. And then let's do Expert Belt. Super effective moves. We don't have a black belt, do we? Oh, we do have a black belt. There we go. You can have the black belt. You, I think, should already have Miracle Seed. But I think we're going to give you Oranberry. We don't have Oranberry, but we could have had Oranberry. We just didn't pick it up yet. Yep. Give to you. Instead of Miracle Seed, we're not really relying on you to deal damage. And then let's do big beak for you. Okay. Not a big fan of Ezra's Flash or Affleck's Batman, but Daddy Cavill Superman and Gal Gadot Wonder Woman will be peak for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm super biased against Ezra Miller's Flash because I love Grant Gustin so much. But yeah, I watched the Flash movie recently and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was okay. He was in 2002 Justice League, and for some reason he got massive, probably because of the Metro Man / superhero hype at the moment. Fair enough. Alright, Pikachu, you're just gonna Shockwave, which should, in theory, one-tap this guy. Nice. Now, okay, this did bring in Perugly. So, this is either Fake Out or Hypnosis. We're going to go to Ben 10. That's fine. That did a decent amount of damage. And we are going to... Hold on, let me just check the damage for low kick. There is a non-0% chance that low kick is good. Where is Perugly? Perugly. Low kick damage versus Perugly. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Depends on speed. Low kick reduces speed, so in a clutch you can give an extra attack. That's low sweep, that's different. Where is just the I want just the chart. Give me the chart. Grant Gustin Flash writing sucks. Yes and no. There are great seasons of The Flash, and there are bad seasons of The Flash. I will not defend every season of The Flash. What I will say is that The Flash has some incredible writing in some seasons. And I think, in general, overall, Grant Gustin's Flash is very, very good. Okay, wait, hold on. Perugly. Weight. Okay, weight is 43, which puts it in the 60 base power, which means Brick Break is better. Nice, good live. One tap. Nice! And we are healthy enough to survive the burn tick. Nice. Okay, Bronzor comes in. This is for extra sensory. We want assurance here. Does Rat die? Okay. I'm not a fan of the Confuse Ray. This is fine. We can just go to a different Mon. Let's go to... Yeah, I'm not feeling like risking Ratatoska when we definitely have a safe play here. This will go for Shockwave. This will go for Hypnosis now. But I'm not sure if Shockwave's... Yeah, Shockwave does kill. Nice, and then we're in a really decent position because Yanma now comes out, which should die to a Shockwave itself. Okay. So it's detecting, which means it's going to get speed boost, which means it's going to be faster, but I don't think it kills me with anything that it has. Silverwind shouldn't do that much damage. Even if it gets the boost, Shockwave into quick attack should kill if Shockwave doesn't just by itself. And that is Deathless Mars. Nice. I will describe all the seasons. I'm fastest man. There is faster man. Iris nearly died. I need to get faster. I am fastest man. Not every season. In some of the seasons, it is I'm always the fastest man, but then man is better at thinking. And Barry has to become better at thinking. But honestly, the writing for season 1 and 2 is really solid. Season 3 gets a lot of flack, but genuinely, if it didn't come off the back of 2 other Speedster-based seasons, I think season 3 would be a lot better received. Lightball Pikachu does in fact hit like a truck, yes. I didn't understand when they had an established Flash from the series. Why would they not just use him in the movies? Yeah, it's alright. Reminds me of that skit with the fastest math solver alive when he gets all the answers wrong, but he was fast with all the answers. True. Also, I can time travel and dimension hop to be better. That does also happen. Yeah, it is the problem, really, with writing the Flash. But like, even the comics are the exact same, right? Like, you cannot get a consistently well-written comic book Flash because the Flash inherently is too powerful to have good writing, right? Does that make sense? Like, how do you write for a character that literally can just run back in time or change dimensions, etc.? Which is why, in general, there is just not all that many good Flash stories. Okay, so my general philosophy here is that we should hit the tree. 10% chance for Heracross. Male Combee doesn't count as an encounter. But decent chance for Pineco, decent chance for Wurmple, decent chance for Heracross. Other potential contenders, we could get Chinchou, which would be pretty good. Chinchou or Shoulder. But also if we take the grass, we could end up with Shellos, which we already have a water ground type. Mareep, which, I mean, having Ampharos would be good, but it's also not that great. We also risk then Hoppip and Pachirisu. So I am Team Tree here. What's in the north? Potential for Slowpoke, potential for Krogunk, potential for Volbeat or Illumise. And the tree up there has a 10% chance of Farfetch'd, which is very tempting. I do like a good Farfetch'd. And we already have Starly and Pidgey. And we could potentially fish for the Tailo encounter in Eterna Forest. Okay, let's do that. We'll delay this encounter to the top so we can use the other tree. Yeah, we lose out on this chance for Pineco, but okay, I turned on the repel, but that's fine. Not counting that because I was under the impression that repel was on. That's okay. That's well within the rules that I have set up for ourselves. Well established. I always forget that that's a repel, and I always look at it and go, ooh, shiny. Ooh, banana. Flash only has consistency on lower tier characters, which means that you get, you cut at least 2 of the Flashes out at least. Yeah. Ooh! Right. Because we made this mistake last time, but we nearly walked into the Cheryl fight completely underprepared. Okay, right. Drifloon, Wailmer, Makuita, Chansey. We actually, unironically, have a really good team for this. We lead Pikachu again, to deal with Drifloon. After Drifloon, it probably comes out into Chansey, I imagine, because it's got really good special bulk to hit me with a Hyper Voice. We can go very easily into Goku for that, to just punch it to death. Or even into Ben 10. It's plus speed. Wait, hold on. What is... You're also plus speed, and you got decent speed IVs, so you're probably faster. Let's do a quick cheeky burn on you. I'm just... Is it tantamount to Pokemon abuse to pre-burn your Pokemon? That's my question. Alright, Cheryl. Cheryl? I think Dash and Red Rush from Invincible are some of the best speedsters ever, even if Red Rush was stupid versus Omni-Man. Okay, and I'll agree with you on Dash, but how can you argue that a character that was, like, on screen for less than 20 minutes is a good, well-written character? Like, we see no real actual usage of Red Rush. You know? How heavy is Chansey? Feels like a personal question. Sorry, Chansey. Oh shit, it's faster! Okay, well, RIP. That's very, very crazy. One. Do they change Chansey? No. Chansey base speed is 50. Huh! Machop base speed is 35. Who knew? Chansey got nitrous. This is Whalmer now. For Water Pulse. Could also be Rock Tomb. Either way, we're fine. Yeah, wanted to go for Rock Tomb because speed control. Good miss. By the use of his powers versus the Mauler twins. Yeah, but like, there's also really great moments of Barry doing that in... oh, nice. Good static there, Pikachu. There we go. No, we don't care about Slam. Nice. Okay. So we want our Repel on in the forest because we don't want to have to deal with that. Why is Slam even a move? It's so crap. Oh, it's 70 base power, normal type move. I think the whole point of it is that it's stronger than Body Slam, but less accurate and has a higher chance to stun, paralyze. If I am not mistaken. Oh, we can't actually pre-burn Hamtaro here. So this is... I actually can't tell. They look the exact same. This is either Slowpoke, Execute Natu, or Spoink, Drowsy, Boltoy. Either way... Assurance. 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 I'm pretty sure Slam has a chance to paralyze. I'm pretty sure Slam also has a chance to paralyze. Hold on. Slam. Pokemon. Although, this being said, I also thought that... oh no, it is just... Yeah, it's just 80 base power. You're right. 80 base power, but 75 accuracy. Yikes. Okay, there we go. There you go, Chell. Okay, so... I'm going to turn off the Repel here. We are, honestly, medium hoping for Talo. But also, if we end up here with Baneri would be kind of good, Shroomish would be kind of good, Slackoth would be fine, Talo would be probably best case scenario. Okay, Shroomish, this is absolutely fine. That looks like Technician to me, I don't know. That very much looks like Technician to me. What can we... Can I Rock Smash this? Nice. Ow. Okay, what is oh, who's the mushroom person from My Hero? Mew and Shroomish. I love Shroomish. I think Shroomish is great. Personally. Yeah, they give it Technician in this game, which is just really fucking good. When you fight it, it definitely feels like that. When I'm using it, it feels like 15. Yeah, very true. I'm a sentinel? What does that mean? A statue? Oh, my... Right. Thank you. All right, Oz. I'll catch you again soon, man. And again, I hope that you know that we can disagree and that's okay. And well, I hope that you feel the same way as well. If you don't, obviously that's fine. But I don't feel different towards you. We're good. Still think that you're a chill dude. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that was put across. Thanks, man. I have plenty of friends that, you know, have different political alignings with me, different ideas with me. Yeah, thank you, Reese. That's who I was looking for. Kinoko? Kinoko. That's Kimoko. But yeah, I've got plenty of friends who I disagree with politically. But, you know, I still love and respect, so... Yeah, me too, Oz. I feel the exact same way. And if we don't keep company with people who we disagree with, then we never learn and grow as people, right? So okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad that we're okay. Who do I want to bring for this? Oh no, I want to just put Pikachu up front. And then bring Diglett and Wooper because they're gonna resist. We are just gonna go for the Rotom encounter here, chat, because it would be silly to not just go for Rotom. As Rotom is just very solid. Did we just miss twice? Are you shitting me? That's crazy. Okay. Well. What? What the fuck? Okay, we wipe to this, I guess. Okay, well, that just fucking kills my motivations. Well, you know what? We lost quite a few Mon early on. This thing's got to be like up special attack because that was crazy damage output. What's like a motor? Or like an anime shapeshifter, right? Because this guy like possesses like different appliances. Fair enough, Osley. Upgrade. Oh yeah, this is definitely better than Pikachu. Though that being said, Pikachu with Light Ball at this stage in the game is pretty okay. But it's all good. What's a good like shapeshifter? Oh, upgrade from Ben 10. Oh, that's pretty fun. Yeah, let's do that. Upgrade. Boop. All right, so who the fuck did we lose in that? We lost Pikachu. We lost... Oh, we had already lost matchup. Alright. There we go. Let's take the stuff away from them, though. Give me that. Even though the light ball is literally useless to me. So, thanks, Rotom. Yeah, this guy's gotta be... Did I lose Wooper? No. Didn't send out Wooper that fight. Wow, really? Not even... Okay. Huh. This guy was doing some solid damage to me for only having 14 IVs. Being down speed as well. Yikes. Old Gato. We should pick up a Reaper Cloth in here somewhere as well, just in case we do run into a Dusk Noir or Dusclops. Duskull. Where is the Reaper cloth? That's just an old ghetto. Is it downstairs? Also, Blazy, what is the only Pokemon line without a weakness? That would be the Electros line. Okay, so first off, there's a bunch of like berries and shit that we can pick up over here, as well as silver powder for our bug types and sleep talk, which is good. And we can pick up all these berries, raspberry. You guys know the way that I'm playing this. I have a list of all of the berries that we could potentially get, and and when we can get them, and then we just have an infinite amount of those berries. So, we are 1,000,000,000% encountering a flying type in this bush, so we're going to grab all of our flying resistances, which includes Rotom. And also maybe a Pokemon that we're not too upset about losing. Would be upset about losing my guy here. I'm just worried about my guy getting actually sparked out. Because I think part of the reason why that went so south so quickly is because, I mean, Rotom's level 20. And I can't believe we missed Thunder Wave twice. And then, like, we missed so many attacks for no gosh darn reason. So let's get everyone up to 21. Kame is also the name of the turtle in Dragon Ball who lives with Roshi. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Gwyn suggested it. What? Did we just forget Water Gun? Oops, it's fine. We have Water Pulse. Ah! Oh, look at Big Boy Quag! Big Quaddy. Big Daddy Quag. So that's my nickname for Quagsire. Big Daddy Quag. Air Cutter. Yeah, better than... Oh, we should have got rid of Gust instead of Wing Attack. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Feather Dance could be potentially quite good. Let's get rid of Gust. Yeah, why not? Pidgeotto. Okay. Right, the goal here is hopefully we end up with a Farfetch'd. It's a shame that we don't actually have Pikachu. Do you have, like, a Thunder Wave or something? Shock, Ominous Wind, Uproar. Damn. Do you have Thunder Wave? No. Shame. Okay. Show me Farfetch'd. Okay. Tailo could still very much still be good here. Don't have an issue with Tailo. Nice, good static proc. Alright, we need another small bird name. I am gonna go pee though, chat, because I need to pee. I'll be right back. Ah! Well, fuck. There go my headphones. Okay, I'm back. We could call this, the crow from... Shall we just call it Crow... K-pop Demon Hunter. Yeah, there we go. This is the crow from K-pop Demon Hunters. That's... Okay, let's have a look. This could be really, really good. Show me an up attack nature. Minus speed is rough. Show me guts. Okay, show me good... Ooh! Okay! Alright, well that is definitely a candidate for the gym. Jeez. Okay. On top of that, we can also pick up a guaranteed Dratini here. We're just gonna have to wade through a few mon. Because we already have Magikarp, we are guaranteed to pick up Dratini. Last time we just got really lucky in finding Dratini. Oh my god. Oh my god! Right, there we go. That's a Poliwag. We also have one of those. We're gonna be fishing for a while. How are we doing, chat? Sorry about the start of the stream. I was not expecting things to get political today. Weep. One of these will be a Dratini eventually. Oh my goodness. Learned some British history, so I was fine with it. Well, glad that I could impart some of that on you. Ah. Oh. Come on. I ask about stream. Suddenly we are talking about politics and people's arguing. I mean, it was one of those topics that that linked pretty heavily. We probably wouldn't have gotten that far if and you know, I feel maybe a little bad for, you know, really pushing it, but oh okay, so you have Thunderwave. Get in the ball. Oh, we have dive balls. Wait, hold on. Get in the ball. Get in the ball. Okay. Nice. We need another dragon. Oh, who's the woman who turns into a dragon from Dragon Woman from My Hero? Cause that's kind of what happens to Dratini, right? Ryuku. Like, she turns into like a full-ass dragon. Dratini also will turn into a full-ass... Let's see if this thing's any good, by the way, because the last Dratini that we had was awful. Neutral nature, shed skin. Nice. Nice. A truly awful... Truly awful. Okay. So, let's have a look here, because in Route 211 we have a few options. Hey, Nixie! But I probably wouldn't have pushed it as far if Oz hadn't brought up his views on immigration, and what constitutes a citizen. Because that baffled me, truly. But yeah, I apologize for taking it quite far. It was just like wow, you know? Okay, so here, 30% Metatite, 20% Swablu, 10% Teddiursa, Natsu or Chingling. One of those Bon are pretty okay. If we go to the other side, it is the exact same encounter table. So why not just go for it here, right? Okay, I'll take a meditate. Let's do a charge beam. Okay, I'm just not dealing with that, you know? Alright, who's, there's a character from Avatar. Who's the character from Avatar? From Last Airbender. The chakra guy. The chakra from the Chakra Man. Yeah. The old man. What's he called? I'm looking. Guru Patik. Guru Patik. Nice. Okay, right. Nice, and we can take our other encounter in here as well, because Mount Coronet... Pretty sure Mount Coronet pretty much has... Yeah, until we got higher up in the mountain, it is pretty much the exact same encounter table for Mount Coronet. So we could, in here, we could get a Bronzor, a Cleffa, a Nose Pass, a Chingling. Beldum is kind of the big win here. But honestly, Nose Pass is a bigger win, in my opinion. I think Nose Pass is big W. Not that we'll get a Nose Pass because I never end up hitting decent encounter. Let's go! Incredible. Incredible. Alright, bye Nixie. Have fun at work. Oh, yeah. Alright. Anime character who is either like a navigator, maybe? Character from anime who's like a navigator. Or maybe just has a really big schnoz. Usopp. Nose Pass, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Good. Yep, good call. Yep, Dr. Doof. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated! Show me... oh, actually, yeah. Show me huge power. Okay, neutral nature. Pure power. That's great. Decent enough IVs. Sturdy, I think is fine. IVs aren't great. Up special defense. Perfect. Beautiful. Lovely. What are the abilities that Nose Pass gets? Could have been Magnet Pull as well. Which would have upped our ability to find steel types reliably, but that's okay. Pure Power Meditite is very cool. Right. Okay, Repeller's now on. Ooh, what we can also do, while we're here, before I forget, we can actually go this way. And get a very cheeky, very early TMO2 Dragon Claw. Which... I don't need to tell you guys how powerful dragon type moves are, because you guys know. You guys know about the dragon type moves. You get it. Probably heal. Can also pick up a prism scale here, but also we chose actively not to get Milotic. Because let's be real here, chat. We get enough physical, really bulky water types. Milotic probably would not have added much for us. Okay. So we have an advantage here that we did not have last time, and that is we have fire types. Yay, fire types. We also have water types. We've got this rock type here, which we're going to put in the party as well instead of the ground type who's weak to ice. We'll take, which one of you two is more bulky? Minus special defense. Minus special defense. Are you both naive? That's pretty cool. We'll take you, I guess, instead of Quag. And then Pidgeot should be replaced as well. We'll bring sacrificial normal type. Okay. So, looking at the trainer levels up here, 23-ish. So we're gonna go to 24 on all of our Mon. They are both naive. They know not the ways of the world. As much as I like Taunt, I think Fake Out's just too valuable to have. Goku was already, I think, I'm a little worried that he is minus speed. I forgot to check. Rest is, that's fine. Oh, and I forget. Wait, hold on. Nosepass evolves, like, really fucking early. We just have to be inside Mount Coronet. Yeah! Having a Probopass this early is fucking good. Is all I'll say. Double hit. Yeah, better than Vice Grip. Can we get, like, Liquidation? Do we have Liquidation in this game? Okay, you know, Crab Hammer works. That absolutely fucking works. Finally, a decent water type move. What level does ooh. You get Taunt? That is very good to know. Okay. Why am I leveling up Pidgeot, who has no business being here? Oh, shit. Wait, that's why Uproar was doing so much damage. It's 90 base power in this game. Good lord. Sorry. I'm too distracted. I'm focusing. I'm too focused. We really, really went in for substitute last time against Gardenia. So I think that's gonna be pretty valuable. Okay, let's see what we get here. Okay. Snova is what it is. It's not the best thing we're gonna get, but you know what? If it has snow warning, it also won't be the worst thing that we get. I'm gonna call this thing the Lorax. He speaks to the trees. Because he is a tree. At least show me snow warning. Neutral nature, sound... okay, you know what? Soundproof has at least some utility. I can kind of get behind having soundproof. Okay, this trainer is all... Sorry. This trainer is all flying types. The first one is absolutely fine to take all by himself. You shall tell your grandchildren of the day you witnessed the great Corvats in action! Now men, group up and hit it till it dies! Thank you so much, Professor Ratatoska, for throwing 21 bardlings over to the stage and showing them this barely possible content! Wow! How we doing, guys? What's up, Heedle? What's up, Rat? Hello, people. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BlazyBot, your host with an ever-increasing amount of hair. Every now and then, I will go, and then other times, I will go, I sometimes try my best to not play video games poorly. It often does not work, and that's where we are. I hope you're all having a great day. folks, Reese, can we get a shout out for Ratatoska in the chat, please? An ever increasing amount of hair, personally, for me. Thank you, Reese. If that doesn't work, because I don't know why, yeah, Nightbot's been not doing anything recently. So if you wouldn't mind, Reese, just doing like a manual shout out, folks. We all know and love Professor Ratatoska. They are a gentleman and a scholar. Make sure that you go and give them a follow on their channel. How are your games today, Rat? I'm assuming, oh, actually, because you said that you were playing some different games more recently. Was it Smite today, or was it Borderlands, or... Come on, brain. Think of the other game that Rat told you that they were going to play. Nope. Forgot. Immediately. Still mainly just stream Smite. Yes, I know that. I just remember you saying that you, mix of Terraria. Oh, Terraria in the queue? You do herbs? Wild. Please go follow our lovely friend Ratatoska, who has so kindly showed all of his viewers to the Bard stream. So kindly indeed. What is this here? Sunstone? Okay. Alright, let's think about this, because I think we can get through... Yeah, I'll buy one of you. Lagging Tail did come in handy before. Black Sludge, sure. Wide Lens. I actually want to buy 2 Wide Lens this time. We are planning on finding a Farfetch at some point, because Farfetch is fucking great. Dragon Fang. Yep, sure. And then... I've got one of those in my bag. Got one of those in my bag. Oh, we actually already had a magnet. Hey, look at that. Never Melt Ice. Yeah, sure. Iron Ball. Yep. Light Clay, we just picked one up. And we'll take the Quick Claw anyway. Okay. Gardenia's Gym. Chat is filled with a bunch of relatively easy trainers. We've got quite a lot of flying type Mon fodder that we can kind of throw this way. So this should be, for all intents and purposes, a relatively easy beginning. That might change as we go forward. And you'll maybe see what I mean as we get on in here. I forgot what the actual shout-out message is. Close enough? Yeah, that's close enough. The actual message is, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ratatoska has shown themselves to be a gentleman and a scholar. Go and find their channel as well. Is is the normal shout-out message. What level does Talo evolve? 'Cause I feel like it's relatively soon. Well, there you go. Okay. So, what item do you have? I'm pretty sure it's just the big shot beak. Yeah. That's what we wanted on you anyway. So, you take that. What did we just give to someone that was... We gave you Expert Belt, didn't we? Give me that. This can go on you. When in doubt, level up. Yeah. Was that Sash? Oh, no, it was Spore. And we can just kind of power through these trainers mostly. Right, next one. Victory Bell, Ivysaur Gloom. Should, again, just be able to crush through these. Pachoop. 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 Oh, no, we're asleep. All right, what are you going to do to me now? Takedown? That feels kind of rude. Sludge, we resist. Magical Leaf is fine. We go here. We do this. Gloom is in last. Oh, we're locked into to Uproar. Oops, that's always terrifying. Air Cutter has a chance to miss, so we're just not going to risk that. We always outspeed, we always kill. Fine. Weep my bell. No, I don't think I will. Weep my bell. Weep my bell. You know? Rosalia, Bayleaf, Skip Plume. Again, should be fine just to kind of run it down with the burbs. Light Screen reduces their special defense, not their physical defense. Endeavor, we never really want to be in a position where we have to use Endeavor. Okay. So, now let's actually plan out Gardenia. Blossom is incredibly physically tanky. And what I'm thinking is... we don't have access to Lumberry. What do we have access to? My notepad is downstairs. It's fine. Uproar has always been a lock-in. Yeah, I just always forget. That's all. Okay. Let's do... Because what is Blossom trying to do to us? Teeter Dance, Stun Spore, and then Dazzling Gleam and Grass Knot. There's not a world where either of these two really do much in this situation. You're immune to Sleep Powder. You're not going to take much from Grass Knot, and Dazzling Gleam, I'm not sure. But what do you actually do? Don't think much. You can Icy Wind, maybe, but this thing's already quite slow. I'm curious because while this is up attack and up speed, it's... Oh no, its attack IV is actually really good. So I'm thinking... And this might be a really big risk. But I'm pretty sure... What gives more? Expert Belt, Pokemon, what does that do? 20%. Sharp Beak is also 20%, but only on thingies. Expert Belt, okay. Let's do... I'm gonna give you a Sharp Beak. We've got a few Pokemon here who we don't mind losing, and by a few, I mean just one. So we're going to bring, we're gonna bring Raticate here as well, with the Silk Scarf, instead of Rotom. Right. Hey, AMG Susia, how's it going, man? 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay. Bring you up to 26. Bring you up to 26. Bring you... Discharge I don't think ever does anything for us here, but I guess it's better than Spark in literally every case. So, okay. Here's the plan. Our birds have items that are good. I'm going to give Expert Belt to Staravia here. What item do you have? Black Belt. Okay, that's fighting type moves. We don't want that. We are going to put Charcoal on Monferno. You got leftovers. You got Silk Scarf. And then we can do... what have we got? Wide Lens for Pidgeotto, just in case he misses the Air Cutter. Not thinking much. Did you call me? Did I call you? No? Okay. So, here's the plan, chat. The idea is that Guts boosted... Guts boosted... Sharp Beak Swellow with an up attack nature and up damage should outspeed and kill pretty much everything on Gardenia's team. The main threats we're worried about, because Tangela is incredibly bulky. In fact, Tangela, I'm going to put this into perspective for you guys. Tangela has a base 115 defense stat, which is insane for a tier 1 Pokemon. Blossom as well has 95 defense, but 100 special defense. And Tangela is a resist berry. Yes, indeed it is. So, When Tangler comes out, it knows Grass Knot, Shockwave, Ancient Power, and Stun Spore. We are worried about exactly Stun Spore and Shockwave and Ancient Power. This is where Dr. Doof comes into things, because we can kind of pivot in and out here. And pivot to... we can pivot to Probopass on either... what will either be Shockwave or Ancient Power. And then we can pivot to Goku on what is sure to be Grass Knot. Who should, in theory, be able to do good enough damage. We'll see. Either that, or we go to Hattori, who's got special attacks, and deal with Tangler that way, because Tangler's special defense is poopy. Tangler evolved by now, or not? Yes, it does, but only when it gets Ancient Power. Which this one does, but it's not a Tangrowth, because otherwise we literally could not get through this gym. Okay, so in theory, I like that option more. So Hattori will be killing Tangler. We'll pivot to Probopass to bait Grass Knot, then go to Bird. Or actually maybe go to Goku Fake Out, bait the Ancient Power again, go back to Dr. Doof, then back to Hattori. We'll see. This then brings out... what would that bring out? Likely to be Breloom for Thunder Punch, which I think we're going to be faster than Breloom, so we can always either take that or go back to Dr. Doof and then pivot again. And then that's pretty much the plan. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's as far as the planning goes. I'm also just going to quickly burn... Gonna give burn to Raticate as well. Okay. Gardenia! Let's fucking go. Okay. This whole line pretty much relies on Swellow killing this with Aerial Ace straight up. You've got to be joking! Flippity gibbets. Man, that sucks. Okay, it's fine. That had to have been a min roll. We go to here. And we hit with Hyper Fang. Oh my god. Oi, oi, oi. Right. Dead Blossom. What's next? This might just be... Breloom. This will be Breloom for Mach Punch. Which of my birds has the highest defense? 32. 36. We go to Hattori. This Technician Mach Punch. Nice. That's okay. Very unfortunate. But we are still in a decent position here. Our line is pretty much back on track. Just with the unfortunate sack of our boy. Okay, again, this should either be Shockwave or Ancient Power from Tangler. We go to Dr. Doof. Shockwave is fine. This should now bait Grass Knot. And we are going to go to Goku. Stun Spore's absolutely fine. We hit it with a Fake Out first. Just to do a little bit of chip into Flame Wheel. Stun Spore's unfortunate. We're still in a pretty decent position here. Shockwave is absolutely fine. Concerning that it doesn't see as much damage with Ancient Power, but we're absolutely fine. Okay, this should now be Dazzling Gleam from Roserade. So we now can go back to Dr. Doof, expecting the Dazzling Gleam. Okay, Sludge works too. Okay, this should now be exactly Magical Leaf. To which we're going to go to Other Bird. Ow. Aerial Ace. It's faster. Dead. I think that might be the run here, boys. Gives us a clean switch into Swallow, who is actually faster. We've got a good advantage here against Cherrim, because it will always Sunny Day first. It's hard-coded too. And even though it is now in Flower Gift with Quick Attack, we still outspeed it. I don't know that a Quick Attack still kills, but we don't really have another option. Nice. Last up is Grottle. Bulldoze, Seed Bomb, Leech Seed, and Protect. Let's see. We didn't one-shot the Cherrim, but this thing has less defense, so this should be a kill. Straight up. Alright. 07 Pidgeotto, 07 Staravia. Unfortunate, but it's okay. Oh, and I didn't put on the extra 2 that we lost in thing. Thanks. Okay. And I think, chat, that's as good a place as any to close off. Because I need to go and pick up Kiwi. I will move our dead birds into the dead box. It's okay. They served their purpose. They did really well. Just unfortunate there for for both of them. Pidgeot got crit. Staraptor was just not fast enough, unfortunately. Definitely remember when the Digimon ended here, but we definitely didn't lose the fight. Well, you know what? I'm trying to do... But that, you know what? That run was more fun because of that, you know? Like, we went on to really own that fight, and that was in no small part because we really went for it. I think, personally, anyway. We'll bring the chicken. And we'll bring... Let's bring Rotom as well here. New level cap is... Fantina, which is 33. Just gonna level up Mon, and then we will look to get out of here. That's actually not worse than Ember, realistically. I wonder if they buffed Fire Spin in this game. I'm not gone just yet. What we really want, when Chicken will really get online, is when we can find, when we can get the Protect TM. Because I don't think Chicken learns it naturally. Okay. Hold on. Pre-burn. Pre-burn Swallow, honestly, kind of eats. Just in general. And I just wanted to get that one out of the way, because it was exactly that encounter that we lost, we lost someone important. And I was like, We lost someone important purely because... Oh, we lost our war turtle in that encounter purely because I wasn't ready to deal with it. So I just wanted to make sure that that mistake didn't carry over. Alright, attempt 4 ends so far. 6 deaths, 33 things. Out of our deaths, honestly, not many of them are devastating. I mean, little sad about matchup, little sad about this dude. But honestly, these two weren't amazing birds. I mean, Reckless is pretty decent, but only 9 thing. Pidgeotto wasn't anything special either. This, you know, this was an okay, like, Jolly Machamp would have been really fun. Geodude was completely mediocre. Not too broken up about any of them who've gone down so far, and they all went for a good cause. So we will see them as we continue on. Next time, tomorrow probably, Jupiter, hopefully finishing out towards Maylene. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, folks. Goodbye. Skadoosh.